Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Cameron, SBO, how you doing today?
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for taking the time to meet with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. You have 10 minutes of time, correct?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Here's my business card.
Great, thank you.
So, how was the weekend?
Not too bad. Watched the Pats game last weekend. Enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Big Boston sports fan. So just
That's
been trying
great.
to get in as much as I can.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So SPO, you guys were consulted by Lightwave Consulting. They
Yeah.
advised us and referred to Acquia.
Yeah, absolutely. I spoke with one of our friends over at Lightwave a little while back, and they mentioned that Acquia might have a product that could help us with some of our upcoming web initiatives.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple questions about SPO. Do you mind if I take some notes?
No, not a problem at all. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Regarding SPO, where do you appear to make like the most profit from? Views, click rates, or subscriptions?
A combo of all of that. So we make our revenue mainly from advertising. But how do we make money off advertising? We charge advertisers money based on our statistics around things like page views, time on site, number of subscriptions. Those are our kind of KPIs around success.
Okay.
That we can then take and sell back to advertisers.
So SPO appears to be a company. It was launched in 2001 and currently has like 500 million views. What do you see as a trend in the market, like currently in the next month or in the short term?
Mm-hmm. So, as you mentioned, we're right now our average monthly page views is right around 500 million. Unfortunately, and this is kind of why we're contacting you, is right now we're seeing a trend where we're losing a lot of users based on centralized content. So, if I go to a website from Boston, I'm a big Boston sports fan. We're seeing a lot more people going to that regional sports network as opposed to our site, which is kind of like a global sports network. It covers everything. Whereas opposed to, how we're trying to figure out how we can hit somebody at LA and Boston at the same time with content that's relevant to the two of them. Because what's interesting to somebody in LA isn't necessarily interesting to someone in Boston.
It's not as relevant.
Exactly. So we're losing out on the market share because of that. And our page views are going down, our unique visitors are also going down, and we're also seeing subscriptions drop slightly because of that. We still have a ton of users, and it's a very high number, considering our competition, but it's not a trend we like to see, and we're really trying to turn that around right now.
All right. So what barriers, like these are the barriers to SPO's group, what do you think a competition, kind of like regional-based websites, are hindering this kind of?
Yeah, could you dive a little bit deeper in that? Are you asking me what my biggest concerns are right now, or?
Yeah, like what are your biggest concerns regarding these, like the page views, the subscriptions lost? What is like the root cause of this?
So, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the root cause is definitely, regional content. We're having issues reaching visitors depending on where they are and what we think their interests are going to be. We cover the major games, the major sports, whatever. We post the big stories, but that might not be what's most interesting to somebody, Florida compared to, New England. It's different. People are looking for different things. We're having issues reaching out to them right now.
What would you say is so your greatest competition will be the regional-based websites?
Yes.
Yours is globally?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say that's a correct statement.
All right. So my company, Acquia Lift, helps you learn more about your customers, basically. And in order for them to help you learn more about your customers, we do digital marketing via websites, and it could help your website as well. So when working with your website, we could see using our digital marketing application and software, applying it to you, it could bring more relevant content to your customers, more personal settings, where they could have more regionally based. So they could go to like a sports team, for Boston, and they're from Boston. They want to look up Celtics, Patriots, Bruins, and it's more relevant to them.
Yep.
And this will be great because it will bring more relevance to the customer. Subscriptions, viewership will go up gradually, and you still will be widely known as a globally prospective company, as well as being more regional too. It's going to attract those customers that you've been losing to the regional-based competition.
Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. Do you have any, examples of customers you currently have that are using Lyft?
Toronto Life magazine is one of them, and they've seen a 20% increase in subscriptions.
Wow, that's definitely a powerful number. So I mean, obviously this isn't a free software, and this
Yeah.
isn't something that we have budgeted for right now. Do you have any idea around like what the prices are?
Well, regarding price, it's kind of as a pay-as-you-go scale as you grow.
Yeah.
And it's more like, it's gonna like cost a little bit, but the return on investment will be, which I see potentially as your company, will be really good. Like it'll be between 4 to 6%. In terms of return on investment, what do you think would be?
It really depends. You know, I mentioned our KPIs earlier. We're trying to increase subscriptions, time on site, so we can charge more for ads, right?
Okay.
So if that number outweighs the cost, then it's a no-brainer.
Oh, no,
but
definitely.
you know, if you have any sort of example around that, that would be really helpful.
Like a company that is very similar to SPO that we worked with before.
Mhm.
They had a return on investment that was, it definitely beat the cost. Like
Yeah.
they made more profit. And it's similar to your company because you made most of your profit on viewership, subscriptions, time on the website,
Mhm.
et cetera. And this is where your company will make more money due to more relevant content and personalized sites.
That's awesome. That's definitely something that we'd be very interested in learning more about. But I mean, obviously, this is something we're trying to get done now. Our web team's pretty strapped.
Okay.
You know, how long would this take to implement? If I was to, you know, sign it over tomorrow, get it going, how long is it going to take to get this up and
Well,
running?
to implement Acquia Lift, it takes 2 or 3 running days, and the training is free, and we do the training for you.
That's awesome. So if, again, theoretically, if I was to go with you, you know, you guys would pretty much walk us through all of this, and there shouldn't be
Correct.
any issues with our current site. We would just kind
Yeah.
of.
Your site looks viewable with our settings, our application will go directly with your site,
Mm.
and it'll take only 2 to 3 days.
That's awesome. That's definitely something that I'd be interested in learning more about.
Okay, is there a way that I could arrange a future meeting with you or someone over you in SPO?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm personally just, I'm doing the research phase right now.
Okay.
I'm taking all this info, learning more about the products that are available right now. And then my boss is actually the person that's going to be signing off on this.
Is
But
his name Pat?
yes, yep. So I can, what I could do is I can set you up a meeting with Pat, and we could kind of just go from there.
In the meeting with Pat, is there a way that you could come with the meeting with us and you could be a sponsor?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'd definitely be interested in doing that.
All right, that's great. But in terms of Acquia, you think this would be great in terms of like the return on investment, obviously. And I see that you've been having problems in the market trend, like through subscriptions, viewership is going down due to regional competition.
Hmm.
And I think potentially this is going to be a good partner, Acquia Lift, in working with, and it's going to generate sales. And your company, SPO, as a website, is going to grow substantially through working with us.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be very interested in learning more about that.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you. When's a good time to meet?
How about tomorrow? Are you free tomorrow?
Tomorrow is great.
Awesome.
Thank you for
we'll
your
get it going.
time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
All right. So we'll